Welcome back to DK Sports Radio. You're listening to The Steelers Show. I'm Chris Carter, NFL analyst, here with Dale Lolley, Steelers beat writer, here in the studio at Highmark Stadium. DKPittsburghSports.com. It's another week in the life of the off season. We'll get into get to some Kevin Colbert discussions in a little bit here. Dale was there live, but before we do, we got to shout out our good friends, mybookie.ag. Dale, if there's one place you're going to put money on some sports online, where is it going to be?
That will be at MyBookie if you're going to bet against the Pitt basketball team, which is the way to go.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is like if the over is so high, are you really betting against them, or are you betting that that they'll be able to meet whatever the over is?
I think anything that's under 20.
It's under 20 every game.
Go for it.
Oh my gosh! But yes, mybookie.ag, the best place to bet on sports. They do college basketball, pro basketball, hockey, and baseball season's just around the corner. Get ready for all of that.
Bet those baseball season over unders.
Yeah, that's going to be another story. But let's but don't forget when you go on there, use DK Radio as a promo code, and you'll get a 50% bonus on your deposit. That's DK Radio as your promo code, and mybookie.ag, great on mobile, great on desktop, great on laptop, whatever you can get to it. mybookie.ag, you play, you win, you get paid. Now let's let us get paid, Dale, and start getting to work here. Now you sat in about a 30-minute meeting with Kevin Colbert, and you got about a bunch of different stuff out of it. One of the main topics I guess everyone's talking about right now is what's going to happen with Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, and Kevin reiterated what Art Rooney said last week, that they would like to sign Le'Veon Bell to a long-term agreement. What he added to that was that they had met with Le'Veon at the end of the season when he had his final season meeting, and told Le'Veon, look, we want you to finish your career here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The other thing that he talked about today was how he didn't think that Le'Veon really missed a beat. They were really happy with Le'Veon's performance in 2017. Kevin didn't feel like Le'Veon pouted or was a problem in the locker room or anything like that, which is always a potential problem when you have a player playing for the franchise tag. Mm-hmm. Even though Le'Veon may not have been happy with that tag, and we know that in retrospect he wants a long-term deal. Of course. I mean, that's what he wants. But he felt like, Le'Veon came out and gave them everything that he had throughout the course of the season. He led the NFL with 321 carries last year. I mean, he gave them their money's worth out of that position.
Yeah, 1,300 yards on the ground, almost 2,000 yards.
85
total
catches.
Yeah, I mean, he was everything you wanted him to be. I remember early on in the season when he wasn't getting huge games and people were like, oh, he's rusty, he's not there. I'm like, nah, I think he's there. I just think they needed some holes to open up, and you saw as the season went on, it just kept getting better and better and better.
Yeah, and that was the case, and so they'd like to avoid that this year. They don't want to go through a situation where they have Le'Veon missing the entire offseason. They have until next week, February 20th. They can begin. Teams can begin placing the franchise tags on players, and then they have until I believe just a couple weeks before the free agency period opens on March 30 or March 14th to designate. Try to get something worked out with him in the long term. Otherwise, they're going to have to go that franchise route again because they're not going to just let him walk.
No,
I mean that's the thing. Dumb. You've got a guy who is very valuable. He's very valuable to your team, but he's also valuable around the league. Now, how valuable around the league, we don't know because they don't want him to get to that point where somebody else could offer him a bundle of money,
right?
And somebody would.
Yeah, of course.
That's the thing. The problem for the Steelers. After the Knicks signing and everything else that they've done thus far, they're now $6.3 million under the salary cap. So they're going to have to free up some cash. There's some cuts that they can make. There's some renegotiations that they can make as well. Just the simple release of Mike Mitchell. I say simple, but you have to fill these spots in.
Right.
But Mike Mitchell, Cody Sensabaugh, William Gay.
J.J. Wilcox.
I didn't even include him. But just those three guys clears $10 million in cap space.
And J.J. Wilcox, I think, would be another 3.
Yeah.
So I mean, right there, that's $13 million.
But you're also talking, you're losing 4 defensive backs.
Yes.
So now you got to go sign for at least 2 defensive backs to kind of replace those guys.
Yeah, you think that, and they think that they would. But you know what? They also have a nice younger stable of cornerbacks in at least.
They do. They have some young guys.
So it's like they might be able to bank on that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was there I think it was February 24th. they said was like an unofficial deadline.
February 20th, and that's the day that teams can begin tagging
guys.
guys.
That's the tagging. So if it doesn't happen by then, we're talking another franchise tag?
Possibly. They'll wait. They won't tag them. They have 2 weeks from that period before they have to actually come out and make the official tag. They'll take it as long as they can, but they have a couple weeks of wiggle room there to work with that.
Okay, we'll be right back to talk more about what the Steelers are looking to do in the offseason.
It's time to cash in on non-stop sports action with MyBookie.ag. They have in-game live betting on nearly every sporting event, plus MyBookie.ag will match your deposit with a bonus up to 100%. With decades of expertise and no-hassle payouts, you'll experience the greatest customer service in the business, guaranteed. Use promo code DKRadio to activate your bonus of up to 100%. Call 844-900-BETS or visit MyBookie.ag to open an account. Sign up today.
Miller Lite is the original light beer, and we'll always brew it to have more taste, with only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs. Because we believe that if you compromise on taste, you can taste the compromise. Miller Lite. Hold true.
Great beer, great responsibility. 2018 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Average analysis, 12 fluid ounces. Less than 1 gram protein, 0 grams fat.
What I want from my public accounting firm is big ideas.
But I don't want to lose the personal attention.
My company needs global capabilities.
From a firm with local ownership.
And I want to work with industry experts.
Who take the time to understand my unique challenges. And that's what sets Schneider Downs apart. Expertise for the most complex business issues. With the service you need every day. To learn how our big thinking with a personal focus can help your company, visit SchneiderDowns.com.
If you're one of the thousands of Western Pennsylvanians who love to get outdoors, then you need to check out this amazing new website, stepoutside.org. Hi, I'm Dan Kovacevic of DK Sports Radio. I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh. I know about the outdoor life that's available to all of us in Western Pennsylvania. Learn where, when, and how you can go camping, hiking, hunting, take part in power sports, shooting sports, water sports in your local community, across our region, across the country at stepoutside.org.
Welcome back to DK Sports Radio. You're listening to The Steelers Show. Chris Carter here with Dale Lolley. We've been talking about Kevin Colbert. Dale sat on a meeting with him and is getting a lot of stories from it. We just got done talking about Le'Veon Bell. Let's talk about another key situation the Steelers are looking at. And everyone knows that it's a point of concern, but it's inside linebacker with the Ryan Shazier situation. Kevin did talk about what the Steelers are going to have to make a move there at some point.
Yeah, and he didn't rule out going through the draft or going free agency, and there's a possibility they do both.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
They assign one of each, and they know Ryan Shazier is probably not going to play this year. I mean, that's just not likely. But they are on the hook for him for $8.7 million this year. Now, he's been sitting in on coaching meetings. He's been sitting in on personnel meetings. He's been at the facility working out, and so they have a good idea of where he's at, but they know that they're going to have to go out and upgrade that position. Now, the one thing that Kevin did talk about today was that Tyler Matakevich had, the surgery on his shoulder to fix that. And he said, basically, people forget Tyler was our top backup at both inside linebacker spots, and he basically got hurt the same quarter that Ryan did.
Yep.
So that really forced them to go out and have to sign a Sean Spence, use L.J. Fort and Arthur Moats and everything else that they did there, and it just wasn't the same. The interesting thing that Kevin really did talk about was that, hey, there's no safety net here, basically. We could look anywhere. If we see guys on the open market who we think make us a better team, there are some guys here that aren't safe. He said, he basically talked about we have guys who are ascending players, guys who are in their prime, and guys who are on the downside but can still help us. But if you're one of those guys who's on the downside, you have to be a little wary about your job right now, and that includes the Mike Mitchells, the William Gays, guys of that ilk who are making it, not in the case of Gay, not a bunch of money,
right?
But a decent amount of money. They can free up $6.3 million in cap space just by releasing Mike Mitchell.
Yeah.
Now I think they'll ask him to take a pay cut first.
Right, because he's still a veteran presence, and you think that even if they they get a crazy draft, they get Derwin James or someone like that in the draft, which won't happen at all. But and I'm not saying they will, but I'm saying, like, say you get that free safety that's automatically your starter, you still want a guy behind him in case something goes wrong.
Well, and they always like to have a fallback plan,
right,
in case the rookie doesn't work out. Because with rookie players, you just never know.
Yeah,
you could plug them in there, and they don't work out.
Right.
Maybe they're not ready. I mean, Troy Polamalu took a year.
Yeah, people forget when he joined the Steelers, he was struggling early on.
Yeah.
It wasn't until his second year that you started to see him make plays.
Right. He admitted to this. He overthought a lot of things. He wanted to know why everything happened around him, not just what he was supposed to do, but why he was supposed to do this or that. And so it really caused him to play with a lot of trepidation his rookie year. Now, that second year, we saw Troy Polamalu emerge. But it took time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't an instantaneous thing, and it really isn't for a lot of people. I mean, James Ferrier, his first year at the Steelers wasn't, and he wasn't even a rookie. He was a free agent. The same thing with Ryan Clark. You need to give people a year at least, and I think that's something they have to consider. Mike Mitchell knows the system. No, he's not a playmaker anymore. He's a guy that's a role player, and one that isn't worth an $8 million cap hit. But he's a guy that
if they could lower that to say $2 million.
Yeah.
Now he's a nice, reasonable backman. I think he would be very amenable to that. I think he likes it here. He's comfortable here. He wants to win.
Yeah.
No matter what people think about that guy and everything that he does, he wants to win more than anything.
Would you say? I think he's a leader. Would you say that he's a leader on this team?
I think he's a leader in the secondary. I don't know about it overall as a team, but they can't go into next season with a bunch of young guys, and I realize some of those guys aren't as young, and they do have Joe Hayden now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's something to be said for having a veteran presence there, even if that veteran presence isn't starting. That's the purpose William Gay served this past season. He didn't play as much as he had in previous years, but he still was there, helping make calls and do those kind of things, and helping some of the younger guys get through some of the growing pains that you have as a young player in the NFL.
Now, okay, quick question before we head to another break. If there's an inside linebacker guy in free agency that you think the Steelers can go get, who would you take?
I think his name's Davis from the Titans.
Okay,
is a guy. He's 25. He's the perfect kind of guy that they like to sign coming off that first contract.
Right,
still has upside potential, but he's going to cost them money if they go that route.
And that's the thing is, at the end of the day, if they go and get somebody that's in that age, the prime of their NFL career, that's going to take away money that they would be investing into Le'Veon Bell, into potentially another safety, and other players. And also, you got to think at the end of this next season, they still got to make some more re-signings that are coming up.
Yeah, I think the route to take this year is to go out and get one of the aging veterans, a Navarro Bowman type, and have him play a year. The name to watch would be Lawrence Timmons.
Get out of here. Miami's not letting him go.
Lawrence Timmons may be released in Miami. If that happens, I guarantee you that he signs with the Steelers the next day.
First of all, not only will he be signed, but it'll be like rejoicing in Steeler Nation, because I can tell you so many fans were mad that he was let go. I remember when it happened, there was just Twitter just blew up, and I was like, geez, I didn't realize we liked him that much. But yeah, so that'll be interesting. And if he gets cut, if he gets released, I think that has to be a move that the Steelers
will be
make.
the one that the Steelers will have him on a plane. He would actually probably, as soon as he was released, get on a plane
and
show up in Pittsburgh, and be give me a contract. And that move would make the most sense.
Knows the system.
He knows the system, and then he's not what he once was.
No,
but he's certainly better than Sean Spence.
Oh yeah, and I mean I think honestly he's better than Vince Williams right now.
Yeah, there's a chance of that. And the other thing that they need to think about long term is that Vince Williams is in the final year of his contract next year.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
So they still have to bring in guys. Even if they sign a veteran guy, they still have to go out and draft another rookie to potentially replace Vince Williams down the road.
Right.
In fact, they probably have to draft 2 inside linebackers in this draft.
I think that they will. I think they'll draft one in the first and then one in like the 5th.
Yeah.
But look out for Rashaan Evans. But yeah, we'll be right back from these commercial break. We're going to finish up the show with some more talk about what you can look for.
In Pittsburgh, we bleed black and gold and love our city. Born in Pittsburgh and now celebrating 130 years in business, Henny Jewelers is proud to be your premier jewelry store. Whether it's choosing that watch you've always wanted, or you're searching for the ring that was made for her, trust Henny Jewelers. Visit our store on Walnut Street in Shadyside to see our extensive inventory of designer engagement rings, watches, and one-of-a-kind jewelry. For more, go to hennyjewelers.com and follow on social.
Embarrassed by that stained carpet in your office? Tired of looking at your dull, dirty floor? My Floor Needs is here to fix that. With years of experience and 24/7 service, My Floor Needs offers stripping and waxing, carpet, tile, grout, and concrete cleaning, as well as polishing and buffing services. Call 888-67-MY-FLOOR or email info@myfloorneeds.com for a free estimate and get your floors looking like new again. Whatever your floor needs, call 888-67-MY-FLOOR.
Does your company ever miss its sales goals or struggle getting new business?
Is it tough to hire or to give reps the right tools?
Hi, I'm Dan, and I started Engaged Prospect right here in Pittsburgh to help companies like yours.
And I'm Sam. We're helping companies hit sales goals and grow their businesses.
Think of us as your inside sales team.
Our clients are experts in their fields. We're experts in inside sales.
Give us a call today at 412-715-5151.
Or visit us online at engagedprospect.com/DK.
It's been 50 years since the Summer of Love, but if you're not performing as well as you'd like, check out NEDforless.com. I'm Eric Cushy of Curtis Pharmacy. Don't pay premium prices for the little blue pill. So Denafil, the same active ingredient as in Viagra, costs 80% less. NEDforless.com. All we need is your physician's name. We do the rest. Free shipping too. NDDforless.com. Curtis Pharmacy, Western PA's Better Way Pharmacy. CurtisPharmacy.com.
Welcome back to DK Sports Radio. You're listening to The Steelers Show. Chris Carter here with Dale Lolley. We've been talking about Kevin Colbert and the Steelers management and what they're doing moving forward, who they could be looking at, inside linebackers, secondary, who is Le'Veon Bell going to get signed long term. All that aside, we're going to look around the league for all the other big news that's been happening that we haven't had a chance to talk about yet. But before we do, got to thank our friends at mybookie.ag. You play, you win, you get paid. And remind you that this Steelers show is always sponsored by Henny Jewelers. Henny Jewelers, your jewelers on Walnut Street in Shadyside. Henny Jewelers, your jewelers for life. Now, that being said, Dale, let's go around the league a little bit. There's a lot of talk. I didn't get a chance to talk to you about this, but when Washington went and signed or traded for Alex Smith, and now basically means Kirk Cousins is going to be a floater, that changes up the market, in my opinion, for who's looking for quarterbacks, because at least Washington before, they could have been in a position where they could go after one of these younger quarterbacks that are in this draft. But now you got Kirk Cousins as a floater. You got the Vikings with 3 quarterbers that I'm sure
none of whom are under contract.
Yeah, and that's the thing. All of them have to get signed somewhere, and it just, to me, there's so many openings right now. And then meanwhile, you got teams like the Browns that had DeShone Kizer, but he had a horrible rookie season, as any rookie would on an 0-16 team. But what do you see right now? First of all, what was your opinion on the trade to get Alex Smith? Because I just see him as an older Kirk Cousins with a little bit more knowledge of the game.
You know, I think he gives them a cheaper option than Kirk Cousins. I mean, they paid Kirk Cousins $43.5 million or something silly like that over the last 2 years. They weren't going to be able to re-sign him. So I think you go out and you go get Alex Smith, and you know, they're still in line. You know, Alex Smith is no spring chicken. He's 34 years old.
Exactly.
So you get a couple years out of Alex Smith, and you try to go out and find a quarterback in the draft. I still think Washington is in play for a quarterback in this draft.
They're still going to go get one?
They could. I think if the opportunity presents itself. I think Kirk Cousins probably ends up in Denver. I think that's the most natural fit for him. I think he gives them an opportunity to, with a defense that is still solid but aging, to perhaps win this year.
Yeah, that window's closing for them. Yeah,
I think Kansas City takes a step backwards with Mahomes at quarterback, and some of the losses that they've had in this offseason. I mean, they're gonna lose some guys. They're getting older in certain spots. So I think the dynamic changes from year to year, and that was part of what Kevin Colbert talked about just today. That look, you have to assess your roster from year to year. Things change. Your salary cap changes. Your set cap situation. Guys get older. Guys get they make more money in a certain year than they did the year before. So you have to look at that and assess each season on its own. And so I think the quarterback market this year is going to be interesting. I think you could see Cousins get up to $30 million a year.
Wow.
And I don't think
I
don't think he's a $30 million a year quarterback. Not even close.
There's no way that he is. I mean, when I first came to DKPittsburghSports.com, my first regular season preview article was that Kirk Cousins doesn't beat zone defenses. And I looked through all of his touchdowns. It was like of his 43 touchdowns 3 seasons ago now. He had, I think, like 38 of them were against man, and almost all of his interceptions came against zone. And I said that's going to kill him against the Steelers.
And that's the one thing when Steeler fans talk about, we just need to play man to man.
It's not that simple.
It's not that simple.
No.
Some quarterbacks handle man-to-man well.
They thrive on it. And like for Kirk, you saw he waited for his receivers to get open, and he was like, I can lead them on that because they beat that assignment. And I mean, you saw when I talked about in the Super Bowl when the Patriots, they would go zone and the run pass option was fooling them. When they went man, they couldn't run with the Eagles' weapons.
Not only that, but again, when you play man-to-man defense, you're turning your back on what's happening behind you.
Right.
And if that running back breaks through the line of scrimmage or the quarterback breaks contain, you're going to give up a big gain.
Yeah, and especially when you get, and that's why I think also Alex Smith worked so much for the Chiefs, and if they continue to run the run pass option efficiently, I thought that they were a team that could have been a threat in the playoffs, but they just sort of fell on their own face against the Titans.
They can, and I think Mahomes does give them the opportunity. He has a much better arm.
Yeah.
Than
he is a cannon.
Alex
he can
Smith.
Get it out.
Yeah. Now, I think Alex Smith is a safe player. He's a check down player. He won't make big mistakes, but he's also not going to win a lot of games for you.
All right. Before we go, let's talk about potential cuts or free agent moves that you think that's the biggest surprise. A lot of people are talking about different scenarios. Give me one. I'll start with mine. I think Dez Bryant isn't going to be a Cowboy next year. That's my big prediction for what might happen. I think either they cut him or they trade him, but they're just paying him too much money. And with Dak Prescott, he is not fitting in their scheme. But like that's my big prediction. If you had to pick something right now that would shake up the league a little bit, what would you say?
Eli Manning gets traded to the Jaguars.
Interesting. Oh, to get Tom Coughlin. That'd be very. I think that I would actually kind of like that move, just because you and I have both talked about Eli Manning, and
he's not a great quarterback.
Yeah.
Is he better than Blake Bortles?
I think he is. I think he's because I think in the clutch he can make some big throws for you. But he's not going to be able to do the run-pass option the way that Bortles does. He doesn't have the legs to move around. I think that they'll miss, and that might hurt them schematically. I think as a quarterback overall, he's better, but for their scheme, I'm not sure that Manning's the right fit.
We'll see. I mean, I think they can adjust their scheme to fit his strengths. I think they need to spend money on receivers.
Yeah, they need to get some talent.
I think the running game is solid. The offensive line is solid, and with that in place, I think if you give Eli Manning good receivers like he had with the Giants before obviously everything fell apart this year,
right.
I think he can be a capable quarterback. And again, he had the Giants in the playoffs 2 years ago when he had all those weapons.
And was going neck and neck with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. So, I think that's a move that they make. I think they can't settle for another year of Blake Bortles. They have to get better at that position. And it's either that or they go out and get one of the guys. Do they go sign Sam Bradford?
Yeah, but I mean that's doable. Right now, here's the thing about the Jaguars: they still have about $17 million in cap space,
right?
Despite the huge signings of getting Campbell and Bouye last year. Now you're in a situation you could go get Dez Bryant gets cut. Maybe he's a guy that you go get because that's a person that you give to a quarterback. You can toss it up, do some jump balls, and take away the decision questions, and just say, listen, that's your guy. He's got the height advantage. Give him a shot. I think that's an interesting move though with Eli Manning. But I think that Jacksonville, they're a team. They know it's funny. They just became a force, but their window I think is really tight because the guys they brought in on defense, they're going to start.
They're going to want to start getting paid too.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah, especially like Telvin Smith, Miles Jack.
After next year, you're gonna have to pick up the option on Ramsey.
Yeah. Oh man, because he's gonna command so much money as a superstar corner in the NFL. So you're right. I think I think this has to be the time. Maybe Eli Manning is their move to say we're taking a shot. But that's the Steelers show for now. Great talking with you, Dale, as always. If you want more information, Dale's got great columns right now on Kevin Colbert and the situation that's going on with the Steelers. Read all about it on DKPittsburghSports.com. I'm working on a season review of the final grades of how the Steelers played and where the stocks are at each position, which will come out sometime. We'll start rolling it out next week. But yeah, lots of great stuff on DKPittsburghSports.com. Keep listening to DK Sports Radio to keep you updated with what's going on in Pittsburgh.